back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
Or not.
Hello, John. Nice. What's up, Nathan? So,
hey
hello, Jamie. Thank you guys for joining. So what we'll be doing today, I'm going to give people a little bit of time to trickle in. What we're going to be doing is we have a list of 21 movies. Again, like always, Ashley and I do not know each other's list. We've talked about it a little bit, but we haven't really gone in depth on whether we truly believe these are horror movies or not. So we would love for you guys to give us your opinions as well on whether you think that what we're talking about is a horror movie. So let's talk about the chat real quick. John, how you doing, buddy?
John.
Nathan's here.
Hey, Nathan.
And there's Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Julian,
hey,
what's
Julian.
going on? And then there's John and Nathan, two of my favorite people ever. So what's up, Boomer? We'll be seeing you on Sunday, my friend.
Yes.
So one thing I want to talk about with this list is some of these movies are not really what you would expect to even be on a is this a horror or not list. We tried to make it as diverse as we could while making sure the movie still had horror undertones to it. So I can't wait to get everybody else's opinion before I give ours.
I know, I'm excited.
How you doing, Rob?
Hey, Rob. Hi,
Shaun, how you doing? You know it, buddy. Tiago, it's so nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. I hope you guys enjoy it. Wicker Man Nick Cage edition. Is it horror? In spirit. In spirit, it really is.
Yeah.
So like I said, we have a list of 21 movies, and at the end of the chat, what we're going to do is if we didn't mention a movie that you guys like or you enjoy and you want, we're going to leave that open at the end of the chat on whether you want to name a movie for us, and we will let you know what we think about it as well. So do you want to go on to the first movie, my love?
Yeah, so the first movie is Stand By Me, and I already talked about this in prior lives, so you guys already know what my opinion is on this, and it's totally a horror movie.
Okay.
Ace Merrill, he is such a scary villain.
Kiefer Sutherland's character.
As the greaser guy. And when I was a kid and seeing that dead kid on the side of the train tracks freaked me the hell out.
Yeah.
And there's just so much terror in, growing up type things. And I totally think that is a horror movie.
Very anxiety driven.
Yeah. Like when they're on the bridge and that train's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When they're running from the train.
Yeah.
So you say yes, Stand By Me is a horror movie.
I do.
I agree.
Okay.
I think Stand By Me is totally a horror movie. I think that, like I said, the train scene, and then you also have the scene of, it's not so much horror, but the emotion that comes along with River Phoenix's character talking about how he stole the milk money, but he gave it back.
Yeah.
And who would ever believe him when the teacher came in with a brand new purse and
River Phoenix was amazing.
That 8-ball, it's sad what addiction can do to people.
It really is. He would have been something very special, I think, in today's.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. He was young Indiana Jones. That's the confidence they had in his ability.
But I mean, he was believable.
Yeah.
All of his scenes and everything, like he was believable.
For me, Kiefer Sutherland really seals the deal on this. But a scene that always really, really freaked me out when I was a kid was when he's having the dream and his dad is talking about his older brother who's played marvelously by John Cusack, and the dad's like, the wrong kid died. It should have been you. That scene always fucked with me as a kid. So
like, what a horrible thing
to say. What a horrible thing to say to your kids. So what about you guys? Do you guys consider Stand By Me a horror film or not a horror film? And like I said, one thing I did want to say at the beginning that I didn't say and I should have, it's everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
We don't think you're right, wrong, and different.
Horror is what you make it.
Right. So yes, if you think this movie's not horror, say, wow, you guys are dumbasses. There's no way this is horror. So
you guys call yourself horror.
Right. You idiots. Hey Robin, what's going on?
Robin.
Thank you for stopping out. Nicolas Cage is a horror himself. There's no lies detected there. Mm-hmm. I felt Kiefer was scariest in A Time to Kill. And I will say, this is not the only time we're going to talk about Kiefer Sutherland on this list. Just throwing that out there. Boomer, you got to check it out, buddy.
It's such an amazing movie.
By tradition, it's not a horror movie. It's more a coming of age. But there's a lot of real horror-driven scenes in the movie, to me, that make it an absolute horror film. The leeches scene is another one when he takes the leech off his private.
Yeah, and he passes out.
He passes out because he's got the blood on it.
Yes.
Good call, Rob. Yes. Never seen. Again, I can't recommend it enough. I think that you guys should definitely check this film out. It is more than worth a watch for sure.
I'm trying to think where it's streaming right now.
Is it streaming right now?
It is streaming somewhere right now.
I'm going to check for us right now.
It
is
Netflix.
Streaming on HBO Max.
HBO Max.
So if you have HBO Max, Stand By Me is streaming on HBO Max, and I can't recommend it enough. It's definitely a good watch. So since you started that one, I'm going to go and start the next one. So I would say Your Move, Creep. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me. I'm going to say Robocop.
Okay.
And for me personally, I'm going to give this a no. I think there are horror scenes in it.
Yeah.
But to me, the action adventure sci-fi outweighs the horror elements here. So with Robocop, I mean, like, you got the scene of Red Foreman getting stabbed through his neck.
Yeah, he's like the best villain ever.
Okay, I just got to say this too. The part where they're sitting in there and he's trying to get the drug deal done. Because you got to remember, Clarence Bonninger, who, Red Foreman, this all takes place in Detroit. And as many of you know, and much like Clarence, as he says to his drug dealing counterpart, come on, the Tigers are playing tonight. I never miss a game. So I don't think it's a horror movie, but I think it's a very good movie. I like Robocop, and I would buy that for $1. So what about you, my love?
So I said yes. And I'll tell you why. Like, I feel like it's like a new age, like almost Frankenstein type movie.
Okay.
Like, they kill this man
brutally
to make a prototype of him. Like, it reminds me of Frankenstein kind of. And like you said, Red Foreman, he's
Clarence Bonninger,
yes, he's such a great villain, and I'd be scared of him for sure.
I still think the scariest scene in that whole movie is when the guy falls in the toxic waste. And he comes out and he's like half fish. He's like,
well, what about
and then the truck hits him. Like, that's definitely up there.
When those guys are like, Your Move, Creep, when they're chasing after that girl and they cut her hair and then they're gonna go
rape her.
Yeah, they're gonna cut her pubic hair off, and he's like, Your Move, Creep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that's definitely. Again, I love RoboCop. Anything that takes place in the D is fine with me. So I do like RoboCop, but for me, not a horror. For Ashley, it is a horror. So let's see what everybody else thinks. I did have HBO Max. It's up there for me. Netflix, HBO Max, and Shudder are definitely my most watched streaming services. I do like Tubi, and obviously I have the Full Moon Features streaming service, which I can't recommend enough either. So agreed, Ken, more action than horror. RoboCop, definitely not horror for me, though. The execution scene is so gnarly. Yes, it is. Like that execution scene when they got him down and they're just shooting him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so gnarly. We should watch that movie tonight. I love that movie. Hi. Hey, Sierra. Jinx. I definitely can see how I've been inspired by Frankenstein, but I don't think of it as a horror. See, and that's what I love to hear. I love to see you guys getting involved in this chat and being so. It makes it so much more fun for us to have you guys so active.
No, I appreciate your guys' opinion.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna give us the next movie? Oh God.
Okay, so the next one is Terminator, and I absolutely think this is a slasher. That the T-800, he literally stalks Sarah Connor, every Sarah Connor that he can find, and kills them. Like, it's completely horror to me. And like at the close to the end when he's in the fire and like he looks really like he's scary as hell.
It's melted all his.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that everybody that knows me knows this is going to be no surprise. 100% Terminator is a slasher film, not just a horror, but it's totally a slasher. He wears a mask. He literally has his eyes set on this girl, like he's gonna get her at all costs.
And she's a final girl.
She's a final girl, completely a final girl.
Yeah.
And this is a terrifying movie. This movie scared me really, really bad as a kid. And I just don't think there's any argument against this not being a horror movie. I mean, James Cameron said he was trying to make a mechanical Michael Myers when he made this movie, like just a nonstop killing machine. Like that was his goal.
He totally knocked that one out.
Oh yeah, and I think this is a conversation we've had when we did our top 10 favorite slashers. I had the T-800 on my list. This is a movie I grew up with that I love very much, and when it comes to Terminator, I'm going to give it the big thumbs up. Yes, this is a slasher. Yes, this is a horror film. So you said yes.
I did.
Okay, let's catch up on the chat. Funny, I was just watching Robocop this morning on the Comet channel. There you go. I love Robocop. And it's funny because I always forget they did a remake of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and seen it in the cinema. And I just left so underwhelmed. Because
it was, what, a couple of years ago?
Was
it? Is it more than that?
I was still at MPI.
Oh, so that was a long time.
Long time ago.
I lose that years.
Red Foreman's face is scary.
He is.
No lies
Especially
detected
if
there.
he's gonna put his foot in your ass. Like, I don't.
I've actually never seen any of the Terminator movies. I would strongly recommend 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you could dabble in 3, that's fine. Stop there. And again, I'm not shitting on anybody's art, but for me, after 3, it really, really went off the rails. But 1 and 2, I think 2's on board in the top 3 best sequels of all time.
Yeah.
With The Empire Strikes Back and Evil Dead 2. I think those are the 3 best sequels, direct sequels of all time.
I watched those with my crazy grandpa Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves those movies.
Hell's Angels.
Yep.
Honestly, the idea of Skynet alone is horrifying. Yeah, it is. And then it gets even deeper in that in Terminator 2, like the Skynet thing. I watched the Terminator for butt-kicking action and Arnold only, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Terminator is classified as an action sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not classified as a horror film. I consider it horror, but it's not classified. Terminator is a horror movie, especially that chase music, very creepy. Like I said, I mean, he goes through the phone book to find every address of every Sarah Connor. Like, Jason ain't going through the phone book. No. Freddy don't give that much fucks about Nancy. Come on, he's the slasher.
Probably can't read.
Terminator, yes, Ashley, it's a sci-fi slasher, sci-fi horror flick, and it is so good. I think it's much better a movie than T2. Ooh, that's a very strong opinion. Where I live, the traffic cams are called Skynet. That's hilarious. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
How you doing? We are having a good night, especially now that you're joining us.
Yes.
Nathan, I wasn't a fan of Terminator. It is a slasher, though. That's all. See, and that's exactly. Like, you don't have to even be a fan of any of the movies on these lists.
Right. But I mean, if you think it's horror
at least
related,
you gave it a chance. Yeah. I recently saw Terminator 1 and 2 for the first time and love both of them. I do too. I love both of them. They are incredible. I agree. So it is me starting the next one. And the next one is probably going to be the most controversial one for me. Prisoners, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. 2 little girls are kidnapped in broad daylight, and they're trying to find the killer, the kidnapper. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. This is a horror film. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance in this movie is absolutely amazing. And I can't think of the kid's name right now, and this is really gonna bother me because he just killed it in the Batman. Paul Dano. Yeah. He absolutely killed it. And I just think that this movie is not just horror of the girls being kidnapped, but the horror of all the backstory. I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm already seeing it in the chat. People have said they haven't seen it. Guys, this is one I cannot recommend enough. Yeah. I would, by classification, no, it's not a horror film. But to me, there's certain scenes in the movie that are just so scary that involve snake poison and little girls, and it's intense. So my opinion, yes. What about you, my love?
So I agree. I think it's
I didn't think you were gonna go horror on this one.
2 little girls were kidnapped and drugged, and then like you said, the backstory of even Paul Dano when he was a kid. Yeah. Like all of that is scary shit, and I think it's horror for sure.
What about when Paul Dano's in the wall?
Yeah.
Like, that's so horrifying. So horrifying. Like, as a father watching this, knowing I would do the same thing, but hate myself for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, Hugh Jackman, he's trapped at the end, and you never even...
Well, you spoiled it.
I know.
What about Terrence Howard, though? Like, Terrence Howard is amazing in everything he does. But he's like, the emotion he shows at that scene, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, like, such a good movie. Whether it's horror or not, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. So that much I can say. Movie. Very good movie. So we both went yes on Prisoners.
We did.
All right, let's catch up on the chat real quick. Justin, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping out. Let's not hate on T2. I love Edward Furlong, especially in Brain Scan. Wasn't a big fan of him in The Crow, however. Nathan, you got to check out Prisoners, man. I would strongly recommend it, guys. I feel bad. We talked so much about it, and nobody has seen it. That movie is terrifying in so many different ways.
Mhm.
I wonder what Hugh Jackman would be like as Batman. I would love to see Hugh Jackman as Batman, but I'm very impressed with what we just got.
Yeah.
You know, so I will always be a Michael Keaton Batman guy. That's just me. That's who I'll always be. But definitely some very good actors have played Batman.
Mhm.
I'm putting Prisoners on my watch list.
Do
Good.
it. Yes,
Good.
absolutely.
And that's another thing, guys. You have us on social media. Comment on this video. Once you watch these films, let us know what you think of them. We would love to know if you think they're horror or not, or if you think they're a good movie or not.
Yeah.
Prisoners was probably my favorite movie that came out that year. I think we've seen that one in the theater twice.
Yeah, we went and seen it twice. Yeah.
Like, we very, very much liked that movie, and it's still one of the ending of that movie is so left open for interpretation.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Like, you'll never get a sequel. Good.
I was always hoping though.
Right.
I just need closure. I'm one of those people like I need some closure.
Right. So yeah, that is our number 4. So now we are gonna let you start this next one.
All right. So we got Return to Oz, and I know you're probably not gonna agree with me on this one, but I think it is. Like, okay, it's a Disney movie, but I think it's the most frightening freaking Disney movie ever. Like they do shock treatment on Dorothy, and like you can hear the people in the basement screaming. And she gets locked in a room, and the nurse like steals her stuff, and it's really creepy. And those Wheeler guys, what are they called? Are they called
The Wheelers?
The Wheelers, yeah. Those things are what nightmares are made of. And there's so many like creepy like heads, and I think it's a very like the most scary Disney movie ever.
Right. I'm gonna go no.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I look, I love the movie.
Yeah.
And I think it has horror elements. It's not because it's a Disney movie, because there are plenty of Disney movies that I would consider horror. Watcher in the Woods is a Disney movie, and I consider that just a straight up horror movie. I don't think there's any question on whether that is. Hocus Pocus, I think it's a horror movie. That's
Absolutely.
a Disney movie. So it's not the fact that it's a Disney movie, but it's, to me, this is like your gateway drug type of horror movie. Like, it has its horror elements to it, but I feel like it leans more into the fantasy element, which is, again, another film we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I feel like, yes, there are horror elements to it. The Wheelers are terrifying.
Yeah.
Nobody can deny that. But to me, it leans more into horror rather than being a straight up horror movie. So
it's really depressing too, kind of like the beginning, and like
their brain, like trying to get her out.
Yeah,
like,
they're like trying to, like make her. You didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So they like give her shock treatment, and that's creepy.
Mm-hmm. So I have a resounding no. You have a resounding yes.
I do.
So we'll fight this one out later.
Okay.
I'm hoping y'all have Requiem for a Dream on this list. We don't. And the reason we don't, Ashley has yet to see it, and I don't want to watch it again because it fucked me up that bad. I'll get into that here in a little bit, Jamie, because I'm going to compare it to another movie that we do have on the list. Return to Oz is too scary for young kids. I can agree with that. I think Chloe would freak if she watched Return to Oz.
I think probably.
Our girl's here.
Hey, Cecily.
Hey, Cess. How you doing? Return to Oz freaked me out so bad when I was little. I cried during the Wheelers part. My mom had to turn it off. That's awesome. I love that. That's a good one. I like that movie. Team Ashley Fantasy Horror. There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, Linton.
Hey,
How's
Lynn.
it going? Thanks for stopping in. Return to Oz was with, I believe so. Robin agrees with you as well. Robin saying it is a horror movie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look here. You know what? A movie we should have put on this list.
Is Hocus Pocus?
No, it's Coco.
Coco.
Coco's definitely got horror elements to it.
Because they're skeletons?
Not just because they're skeletons, but I mean, like, there's the afterlife, there's dying, there's coming back, there's the.
I think they should have
yes,
done, like,
yes, it is.
Or something.
Yes, she is definitely in Return to Oz, Jamie. I mentioned it last time, and I know it shows no consistency, but Addams Family is horror to me. While I can't get behind Hocus Pocus as horror, don't ask me why. See,
I see it as horror because there's these witches trying to kill children.
Yeah, witches are trying to kill and eat children.
Trying to take their souls from them. And
we watch a little girl die in it.
Yeah.
Then we watch
she
her
gets
brother.
Her soul sucked out, and her brother gets turned to a cat.
Yeah.
And I love
you get it. Yeah, for sure.
What was that again?
Stop it. Hi guys, Perfect Blue is my favorite 90s horror movie. I've never seen that, Peter, but thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it.
That sounds really familiar.
I'll check it out.
Hey.
What's up, Gavin? My Fool in the Rain. How you doing, buddy? Return to Oz is horror. Scurry. Hocus Pocus for sure. Ashley, they
You
suck the
know
life
it.
out of innocent children.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. We don't have that on the list because to me, it's just, yes,
Yeah.
there's no debate on that one for me. Now, this next one is another one that, to me personally, there's no debate on this one. So for me, this is Flowers in the Attic. 100%. This is a horror film. Like, yeah, I get that it's like a Lifetime type drama type movie, but oh my God.
But it's so much deeper than that.
Oh my God. From the dad at the beginning to what happens to the kids in the attic to eating that cookie. Like, oh man, I'm telling you right now, like Flowers in the Attic scared me. Well, the kid, for those of you that don't know, this face right here wasn't always the face on this body. I used to have a blonde curly mullet.
I was like...
And I looked just like the kid in Flowers in the Attic with my blonde. I had white blonde curly hair growing up, and I looked just like this kid. And watching this movie, like even at a young age, I was like, that looks like me. Like that boy looks like me.
Your mom was feeding you poisonous cookies.
I know. My mom was like, "Why don't you eat this cookie and shut the hell up? Go upstairs." We don't even have one. So yeah, for me, Flowers in the Attic, undeniably a horror movie. And even though we don't have it on the list, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is also totally a horror film. And I will die on that hill of Flowers in the Attic and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, for sure.
So I agree. I agree that it's also horror.
Okay, so I got a question real quick.
What?
Has there been any movie that you have said no to?
There hasn't. And you know what? Don't you worry about it. Okay? Horror is what you make it.
There you go.
But it's like a psychological horror. Just like it fucks you up. And yeah, they're kids that are locked in the attic by their mother, who they think has good intentions,
right? But
she totally doesn't. And then she dies. She like gets.
Does she get a boyfriend and leave him?
She well, no, they're like trying to give her that cookie, and she like falls over and dies.
What about the grandma in that movie?
Yeah, the grandma
is one of. That's what nightmares are made of. Sorry, I had to go grab a pen real quick, guys, because I need to write down this movie that we were talking about. Perfect Blue, is that what it was? Perfect Blue. Sorry, guys, I wanted to write this down because whenever you guys give me a recommendation, I always want to take you up on it and be a man of my word. So I've got that written down now.
But no, after they confront her about the cookie, like she like puts it in her face and she falls over.
I watched this once as a kid,
falls over
and
the
it
balcony
scared me that bad.
And died and like gets hung.
Well, sucks to be her.
I mean, and then they leave. You know, all the kids leave. Well, doesn't one of the kids die?
I know the little boy dies.
Yeah.
I know they put him in a trunk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So yeah.
I remember that because I was like, no, I'm done. My mom had the book. There was Flowers in the Attic, and there was one before it too, like Petals on the Ground or some shit. Like there was a prequel or a sequel. Somebody in this chat's got to know because I don't remember. But
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yes, we both go with a resounding yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Coco is horror because the guy murders his best friend for a career, then tries to kill the guy's great-great-grandson in the afterlife. I'm also going to go on record saying Coco is my favorite Disney Pixar movie. Yeah. I'm just going to go on record saying that.
He was like a little kid on Disney on Ice when Coco came out.
I was.
He was going to go get popcorn, and then Coco came out, and he was like, okay, wait.
Yep, I'm going to come back. I was in my seat like, remember me.
Coco's an amazing
movie. I could watch that movie over and over. Hocus Pocus is horror. Love Sarah's song scene.
Oh, yeah.
I
sing that too. I love
she does. It's awesome. Oh my God, you have to see Perfect Blue. Don't look at my list.
I'm not.
I wrote it down. Man of my word, we're gonna watch it. Flowers in the Attic is one that I would recommend it. I would like to watch it again now that I'm a little older.
There's some shit in that yeah.
No, hey. You know what? I completely agree with you, Boomer. Like, we all have our own opinions. And that's what makes it so fun. My apologies for how drunk I was on my live last night, Ken. It's all good, man. I got to watch you drink and listen to Led Zeppelin. I was happy. Flowers is disturbing. Horror. It's very disturbing. Flowers in the Attic. Have you ever read a V.C. Andrews book? Every last one has murder, incest, treachery, family secrets, and mystery. They all follow the Flowers in the Attic formula. Yes, exactly. Like, there was so much about it. Flowers in the Attic scared me.
Yes.
I found the book Flowers in the Attic. Hand That Rocks the Cradle messed me up as a kid. The greenhouse scene. Yes, and how Ernie Hudson gets accused of being a child toucher because the lady puts the thing. Wrong. Just wrong. Aladdin. Horror. Those Arabian Nights can be pretty crazy. but not as much as the Arabian Days. The little boy died and they put him in the trunk.
Yeah.
See, Cecily knows what's up.
So scary, and like some of the other shit that happened up there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, and I watched it as a kid, so I may have a completely different outlook on it. A lot of that stuff probably went over my head.
Didn't they do like a remake not that long ago?
Yeah, they did, and we didn't watch it because my mom passed right before.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't gonna watch it because I would have torn me up too much to watch it.
Yeah.
Pedals in the Wind. Thank you, Jamie. I knew someone would know it. Thank you so much. Just got the notification that you're live after I've been watching for like 30 minutes. Damn you, YouTube.
Wow.
At least you're here. I like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So do I. Ernie Hudson gives an amazing performance in that movie. Coco is my favorite Pixar movie visually, but not the story, although it's good too. I love Coco. I'm obsessed with it. I grew up in a Mexican family, Mexican-American family, so a lot of the heritage that comes along with that movie is so on point.
Yeah, what do you call that? Where you put the pictures of your dead loved ones?
Oh, my uncle has one.
Yeah, we were gonna make one for.
We are gonna make one this year.
Your mom and my dad.
It's not. This is gonna tear me apart. I feel like such an idiot right now. While I'm thinking of this, Coraline is definitely a horror movie. Yeah. You know what it is, and I've had people be the Alfrenda. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
God, that was driving me nuts. Yeah, Jamie,
You're on point. We just gotta be like, what do you think, Jamie?
If we ever go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you're my phone a friend. Swear to God. And yeah, like even the pedals opening in Coraline. God, the Alfrenda was driving me fucking nuts. The button eyes. Ooh. Yes. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey. Thanks for stopping out. The real horror fan of me in Coraline is the negligence of the real parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. So did you start that one or did I?
You did.
All right, so now it's you.
So we have Mortal Kombat 1995, and I actually say no to this one.
Of course.
There's a lot of violence, and I don't know, the kills are kind of PG at best, in my opinion. So I had to go no with this one, and plus I had a lot of yeses, so I had to even it out a little bit. And you probably are gonna say yes, right?
No, I don't think Mortal Kombat's a horror movie. It's funny because I consider Mortal Kombat the game to be a horror video game.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Especially the newer ones. Mm-hmm. Like the newer ones are definitely. And even the newest Mortal Kombat movie, I would say leans into the horror genre a little more than 95 did.
Yeah.
But 95 to me, just no, it's not. It's a fun movie and I enjoy it. I could still watch it today, but I'm gonna go no on Mortal Kombat 95 that it's a horror movie. So that's where I'm gonna stick on that one. Coraline, yes, best animated horror movie in my opinion. Paranorman is my jam. What about Frankenweenie? Frankenweenie's up there.
Me and Kenny used to watch it all the time.
Nobody bring it up. I know someone's going to end up bringing it up. Don't bring it up. Don't even say it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't like it.
What?
Have you seen William Friedkin's The Guardian? It has children kidnapping a sacrifice to a guardian tree.
Are you talking about?
Wow. No, we're not talking about it.
Yes, we are.
The OG Punisher is a slasher. I completely agree with you. Like, he's the anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla vs. Kong. We'll get there. I'm with Ashley. Now the terrible graphics, especially Goro. Yeah, no, I agree. No, I don't think it's a horror either. I like that. Liu Kang, just another starstruck fan. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think that the new Mortal Kombat is going to build off of what this last one just did in a very good way. I'm just very excited for it. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey. Mortal Kombat 95, not a horror movie, is say more action. The game is definitely horror. Yeah. I never got scared watching Mortal Kombat. Good call. You know, I'm not going to lie, though. Like, the part where Shang Tsung has his brother, and they're on the thing, and he's like, your brother's soul is mine. Like, that did freak me out when I watched it in the movie theater as a kid. I was like, oh, shit, that's not good. Mortal Kombat, not horror, cheesy fun, but not horror. Now, an R-rated actual action horror Mortal Kombat would be killer. Well, I liked the newest one that just came out. Liu Kang is the best Mortal Kombat character. In the movies, yes. In the video games, for me, it was always Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They were my dudes. You know, get over here. The down forward B will give you the ice thing. If you're on the pit in Mortal Kombat 2, down forward block would knock him off the pit. Just throwing that out there.
I don't remember all that. I just saw that I used to kick my brother's ass in that game.
Could you sit there and push the button and do a high punch?
Yes, and I kicked his ass.
Thank you, Peter, but don't encourage me. I'll be doing impressions all night. I'll be here all night. So you started Mortal Kombat, right, my love?
I did.
Okay. Now we are up to Terminator 2, Judgment Day. No. That's a no for me, dog. This one, to me, where Terminator is really a slasher horror film, this one to me is more of an action horror film. While it does have horror elements to it, like the T-1000 when it puts its finger through the guy's eye, like that part to me was totally freaky. But overall, I'm going to go out and say that Terminator 2, while being one of the best sequels of all time and a very, very good movie, is not a horror movie. I think that it's an action adventure fantasy movie with some horror elements sprinkled in. But where Terminator was more about the slasher, and Sarah Connor, this new one to me is still focused on the T-800, Arnold Schwarzenegger, while he's... Yeah, John Connor's a huge part of it. Sarah's a huge part of it. Abacab, Robin. Damn right. ABACABB, the blood code. Abacab, let's go. But yeah, for me, sorry, I seen Abacab, and I was hoping someone was going to bring that shit up. Yeah, Terminator 2, great movie. I think it's better than Terminator, actually, but I don't think it's a horror movie. I think it's a great movie, not a horror movie. What about you?
I agree.
I agree. Next movie.
Let's go on. I mean, you said everything. No, it's much more lighter than Terminator 1 for sure. And I was reading that they actually had a lot more like gruesome scenes and stuff that they ended up like cutting from this movie.
Probably trying to go for the bank.
Yeah. So the rest of them kind of took, instead of like the horror element, they took that more lighter approach. So yeah, I would say no.
Yeah. But still a good movie. New one is okay. I really liked the new Mortal Kombat. I had a lot of fun with it. While the story wasn't the greatest, I'll give you that, and we didn't actually have the Mortal Kombat tournament, I feel like this is going to be like a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Where once you get the next sequel, you'd be like, oh, that makes more sense now. Now I see why they did that. They're going to be bringing in my dude Johnny Cage, putting on the glasses, doing the splits, punch you in the dick. That's my guy. Abacab, we already talked about that. I already said this when Matt was on, and it's a TV show with True Detective Season 1. I agree. We both agreed with that. Hey, William. Hey. How you doing, buddy? Terminator, I'd say sci-fi horror. Okay, autocorrect. T2, not a horror, but super, super close. T-1000 murdering John's aunt and uncle was spooky. The best part about that was when they called him. Ask her a question only she would know. Yeah, they're dead. Sorry, bro. Halloween Tree. Anyone remember that?
Halloween Tree.
Hey, Matt's here.
Hey, Matt.
What's up, buddy? All right, so Halloween Tree, I'm assuming, Norin, is that a movie? And if it is, please let me know, because I will, much like Chris Jericho, I'll put it on the list. So let me know if it's the movie we need to watch. So I started with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You want to give us the next one?
Yes. So the next one we have is Jurassic Park, and absolutely, yes, it's a monster movie. I mean, it's eating people, and like the whole concept of the scientist being like
undercover.
Yeah, I don't
like it's not the magic word. When he's in the code.
Yeah, and like they made these dinosaurs, and it went horribly wrong, and they all escaped. And like the kitchen one where the kids are hiding.
That's a total slasher scene.
Yes, when they're hiding from the dinosaur and it's like hunting them. Yeah, that's super intense. Super intense.
Yeah. And not only that, but like what really pisses me off are the people that are like, oh, that's a Spielberg movie. So is Jaws, man. Like it's total the T-Rex scene.
It's a monster movie.
Yeah,
it's totally a monster.
What about like the suspense, like when they're hanging in the tree in the car?
Yeah,
and the car starts falling down on him, and Dr. Grant, like, and also, can we point out that the next Jurassic Park is going to feature the three characters from the original film again?
That's awesome.
The new Jurassic World is Dominion. Is that the new one that's coming out? It has Alan Grant back. I'm just very, very excited for that. And Jeff Goldblum's one of the sexiest guys ever in the history of the universe. So can't really, be sad that he's coming back.
Yeah.
So resounding yes for me as well.
Yeah.
I think Jurassic Park is absolutely 100% a horror movie, to the point Fangoria put it on the cover of its magazine when it came out. And again, the horror community got pissed off. Like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean this isn't a horror movie? Why is this on Fangoria? Fuck you, dude. It's totally a horror movie. If you don't think it is, you're cool. But they weren't cool. But yeah, I'm going to go with a resounding yes. Jurassic Park is a horror movie.
That was my brother's favorite movie. I probably watched that a million times.
Oh, we own it. We have 2 different copies of it downstairs. We have VHS and DVD. We just got an upgraded Blu-ray. You just made the list. Chris Jericho reference. Thank you, Robin. Welcome, Matt. Jurassic Park scared me more than Jaws. I actually think I can agree with that.
Yeah.
My squirrel brain is still on Prisoners. I was confusing that in my head with another Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Nightcrawler, which I also consider a non-horror movie. So, Jamie, are you saying that Prisoners is non-horror in your opinion? I got to ask you that. Halloween Tree, an animated film from the 90s. Okay. That is also now on the list.
About cool new stuff.
Yeah, that's so true. We always learn about some awesome new movies from you guys. I agree with Ashley. Definitely a horror.
Yes.
Put Harsh Realms on your watch list.
All right.
Okay. Hey, Sledges. What's up, Jay?
Hey,
Jay. I don't think you're getting Correa, bro. You guys just got Andrelton Simmons. Unless you get both. Sorry, guys. That was my little baseball reference for a moment. I know that we're not supposed to be talking baseball right now, but it's me, so it's probably going to happen. Clever girl. She really is. She made one huge mistake in her life, and she still pays for that every day.
Yeah, let's celebrate.
In a way, Spielberg's first film, Duel, can be considered a horror film, even if for TV. I can agree with that. I believe it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Halloween Tree is on YouTube to rent. Awesome.
I need to check it out.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Mika.
Hey.
Jurassic Park is definitely a horror in my book. I do consider Prisoners a horror.
Okay.
So do I. More than probably anybody here. No, I legit cried the other day when they re-signed the deal for the CBA to come back. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, sorry, buddy. Okay, so you started with Jurassic Park. Get to the chopper now. Predator. Yeah. It's an alien hunting people, dismembering people. It does have a whole lot of man muscle, which I think this was my hardest yes on the list. Well, I think it's quite obviously a horror. If somebody was like, hey, I think that Predator is just strictly an action film, I couldn't argue with you, especially like the scene where they go into the village and they're having the all-out gunfight. Like there's a lot of action that comes along with Predator, but the monster itself, the Predator itself, is so scary. And again, it hides behind a mask. I think it's a slasher, to be honest with you. It slashes people. Like that's the one argument I get against Terminator. He doesn't use a knife. I almost said sword. Like he's a knife.
He literally is his own weapon.
I know. But like that's the one argument that I get. But I think that Predator 100% is a horror film. What about you?
I agree.
I swear to God, I'll divorce. Okay.
You'll what?
I'll call you super pretty.
Wait, if I say no, you'll divorce me?
Yeah.
Okay, Predator is not. Yeah, it's an alien skinning people. Like, yeah, for sure.
That scene too, like when you see the guy hanging from the tree after he's been skinned.
Yeah,
I almost said scun. After he's been scun. Yeah, for sure. Good call. I forgot about that scene. Yeah, that's a very good call. Or when what's his name? Apollo Creed from Rocky. Why can't I think of his name? He's in Star Wars too. Oh my God, this is gonna piss me off. Lando Calrissian. Well, either way, when his arm gets blown off and it's still shooting on the ground as he's sitting there screaming, like, then you got my man Jesse the Body Ventura, old WWF wrestler, governor of Minnesota. He kills it in the movie. So, yeah, Carl Weathers. Thank you, J-Deb. But yeah, Carl Weathers is great in the movie. And to this day, I owe him and Arnold's, their arm thing. It's so great. So, I love it. I love Predator. Yes, it's a horror movie. And yes, it's a very good movie. So now we will catch up on the chat real quick. Predator is horror and slasher. I agree. I Ain't Got Time to Bleed. Yes. Predator has all the makings of a slasher film. Predator is my all-time favorite horror movie and my #1 movie.
Nice.
Very nice. I'm glad we could talk about that one then. Predator is kind of its own genre. I agree with that because it's definitely got the makings of an action film with the cast and everything, but that Predator is just so fucking
Yeah.
scary, man. I can't wait for the new Predator coming out this year. That was in our top 10 favorite or most anticipated.
Right.
Predator was on my list. I knew this was coming. Predator is scary as hell. I watched this when I was a kid, and when Jesse Ventura's chest got blown out, I lost it, but sat there peeking through my fingers the rest of the way through.
Uh-huh.
Funnily enough, Predator feels like a bigger and better version of many Cameron oh, see, exactly.
Yeah, I
and
can see that.
the Alien vs Predator comic books were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I got no time to bleed. Since we're talking kids movies here in the comments, what about Labyrinth? Not yet, Jamie.
Well.
Not yet, Jamie.
Well.
Do you have Darkman on this list? I don't, but we'll come back to that one at the very end. Predator is one of the reasons why I don't like camping. Yes, there's a new Predator. I believe it's a prequel coming out this year. Predator is why I don't go in the jungle. Have you guys got to see Batman? Yes, and we will not talk about it. I can't even talk about if it's a horror movie or not. I can't because it's so new. But I can't talk about whether it's a horror movie. I will not talk about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But we won't talk about if Batman is a horror movie or not. We won't say one word on whether we believe Batman is a horror movie or not. So I believe.
So this is my turn, right?
Yes. So Jamie,
wait,
come back.
My turn?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, you
I
did
started
that.
Predator. So Jamie, come back to
now
the
that
chat.
You were asking about Labyrinth. I say no. Okay, it does have scary aspects to it, like the hand guys, and like the
She chose down.
yeah, that whole thing is creepy as hell. And the Goblin King himself, he's pretty creepy too, and he steals a baby, and a lot of the stuff that she goes through is kind of scary, but I don't. It's not horror to me.
Yes, I think it's a horror movie. A baby gets kidnapped.
Yes.
David Bowie, while he's one of the most perfect human beings, is a fucking predator in this movie.
He is.
Against Sarah. But he's got a voice and that bulge. Oh my god. And yeah, like the wild, when they're throwing their heads all over the place.
Yeah.
I just think that the Bog of Eternal Stench is something that really freaked me out as a kid. Or like when he has that ball and he throws it in the air, she's like, "You have no power over me."
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes back to the house. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say Labyrinth is I'm gonna liken it to Little Monsters, The Gate.
I mean, I think it has a lot of horror elements, and it's very
I love the
horror
fact that
adjacent. But I don't know. I don't consider it completely horror.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'll agree to disagree on this. I completely agree. I think that it's a horror movie, but I think like I said, I think it's a child's horror movie. I think that like The Gate, Little Monsters, Monster Squad, Hocus Pocus, like where these movies are like a child's movie first, but it's a horror movie. That's where Labyrinth falls for me. So I'm gonna go yes on Labyrinth. We got to do a wrestling and baseball stream. I'm telling you, J-Dev, I'm in. We just got to get the time to do it. What about you in the comments? Would you like to see a stream that's not horror related, whether it's about our favorite WWE wrestlers or whatever? Is this something that you guys in the comments would like to see? Because I love horror, guys. It's my life. Besides my wife, my kids, and baseball, it's horror. And you guys, I want you guys to be satisfied too. So is this something you guys would like to see? Colin Farrell as Penguin is pure gold. Yes, it's called Prey. I'm Native American, so seeing Native Americans versus Predator fires me up like crazy. There we go. Like, I'm very excited for it. You said it, J-Dev. I didn't say a word. For shame. Dark Crystal has more horror elements in it, and we did not include that on the list because I haven't seen it in such a long time. And we're going to be watching it with Chloe soon because she's been really wanting to watch it. We're just trying to find a physical copy to be able to watch it. Yeah. So it will be happening soon. I agree with that, but what about the Never-Ending Story or Return to Oz? Matt, you came in a little bit late. We did talk about Return to Oz. Ashley said yes. I said no. Never-Ending Story, we'll get to at the end. So at the end, we got to talk about Never-Ending Story, and there was another one I said. Well, I'll remember. David Bowie's codpiece is terrifying in the sexiest way. Labyrinth is too comical for me to be horror. That's a hard no for me as well. Labyrinth is an amazing movie, but it's an adventure movie. Yeah, dance, magic, dance. Oh, for sure. Would love to see them talk about the NWA and Texas wrestling someday. The Von Erichs, the Texas Tornado. Because again, I grew up in the WWF era. Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, was one of my favorites as a kid. One of my favorite matches to this day was Kerry Von Erich's Texas Tornado versus Kurt Hennig's Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental Championship. That was a clinic on how to wrestle. Bowie is GOAT. We could do it on my channel if we have to. Dude, I'm in. I would consider Pan's Labyrinth a horror. We'll talk about that at the end.
Pan's Labyrinth. That's, yeah. Yes.
To be honest, any stream you guys do would be great regardless of the topic. Thank you, Muhammad. Don't be sorry, Matt. You're here now.
Yeah.
Wind in the Willows. I've never seen Wind in the Willows. I would love to see some non-horror content. Thank you. Okay, what about Black Swan? We'll talk about that at the end. I'm getting these ones written down because at the end we're going to do another discussion on that. Yes, I loved Kerry Von Erich as well. Have you guys seen Turbo Kid? I don't think so.
Turbo Kid. I don't think so.
It's on the list. Okay, so did you start the last one or did I?
I did.
All right. So I would watch you talk about paint. So I'll definitely watch you, even if I don't care for baseball or wrestling. Thank you. That really means a lot to us, for real. So the next one on our list, Total Recall. I'm going to give Total Recall a hard no. I think that there are scary moments, like when they take the things off on the surface of Mars and the eyes start going all crazy. I think that's intense. When Arnold has like trying to take that tracking device out of his nose, and we're talking about the original Arnold Total Recall. I haven't seen the remake that they did, so I can't give an honest assessment of that one. But the original Total Recall, I'm going to go with a no on it, even though, again, it does have many horror elements to it. I'm going to say, as an overall film, Total Recall is a no for me.
I'm going to say no as well. Like you said, there's a lot of violence, but it's like a non-stop action movie, and I don't think it's horror.
Well, another thing about that movie, though, too, is that lady with the 3 boobs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for sure. Like, that was awesome to me as a kid. So,
yeah.
The Cable Guy. I've got that written down, Jamie. Turbo Kid is horror and exploitation. It has more movie references than you need to look out for. I've got it written down, so we will be checking it out. Not horror. Never seen it, but I own it. I mean, I like Total Recall. I like that movie, but I just don't think it's horror. Red State, directed by Kevin Smith. I have it, but I will soon. If it's Kevin Smith, for sure. I mean, I love Tusk, even though Ashley wasn't a huge fan. But I think Kevin Smith is...
I don't know. It cracks me up.
I just think he's a genius. Like, I think Kevin Smith is a genius. He's a comedic genius. He's just... Everything he does is great. Yes, on Cable Guy. Total Recall. What about Akira? I've never seen that one, Matt, so I can't give an honest answer. Total Recall feels like action and comedy. Yeah. See You at the Party, Richter. I'd say no as well. Killer movie. Total Recall is a hard no. 3 boobs only confused me even more as a kid. I love that. Like, wait a minute.
Is this what it's supposed to look like?
I thought I knew what was going on. Total Recall is complete horror for me. It contains a lot of horror elements, and then when you consider Quaid is probably lobotomized and trapped in his own body, is heartbreaking and terrifying.
Yeah, that is pretty freaky.
And see,
like,
that's
not knowing what's reality.
Yes, like that's why I love doing this, because we get to get other perspective on it. Because you're totally right. Like that thought of being lobotomized, it's just like the sunken place and Get Out for me. Being in there, but not being able to control yourself while you're in there is very, very scary, Boomer. So I completely agree with you. I started Total Recall, my love, so we are up to you.
Okay, so we have The Goonies, and I completely think The Goonies is a horror movie. I mean, these kids are being hunted by these people that escaped from prison, and like, oh God, what's his name?
The Fratelli?
No, the guy he's really a nice guy, but oh God.
Sloth?
Yeah, Sloth. Like even though he's a good guy, like before you know he's a good guy, he's super creepy.
Yeah.
Looking. And the scene where Chunk is like trying to get away and like get help, and he tracks down the car, and he's like telling them about the Fratellis and how they're bad, and then he turns on his light in the car, and in the reflection you see him, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think that it's horror.
I'm gonna go no on the Goonies. While again, I love the Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
This is my wish. I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
Mm-hmm.
Again, definite horror elements to the film, but I'm gonna just go on a no. I don't believe in my heart that it's a horror film. Again, probably one of the best coming of age films that I've ever seen in my entire life. The bond that those kids have with each other is super amazing and super genuine, and it feels real.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with a hard no on it, but I do love the movie very, very much. So
okay.
Oh no way! A reminder: Cincinnati, March 26th. The beautiful Ashley Sledge and I will be at Horror Hound in Cincinnati. So if you're going to be there, hit us up. We would love to be able to give you some elbow if you have your mask on, and we'll definitely have our sanitizer with us. We'd love to shake your hand, give you a hug. We'd love to meet any of you if you can make it out to Cincinnati March 26th. It would be an honor for us to be able to meet you face to face. If you have Hulu, it's on there.
Okay.
We do have Hulu, so we have every streaming service possible.
It's ridiculous.
That's all we do. Sloth. Yep, she was right. Not horror for the Goonies. Turbo Kid is a great modern 80s style film with lots of over-the-top gore. Now you're just getting me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Ruth. I love Goonies, not horror for me. My mom knew someone that was lobotomized. That's terrible.
Oh, wow.
I Love You, Chunk. I don't think that's a horror movie, but it's an adventure movie. Chunk? No. Captain Chunk. Goonies is too funny to be scary. But see, I'll get to why I don't agree with that here in a second, Rob. Goonies isn't, but you can see the deleted octopus scene. I love that scene. It's funny because the first time I'd ever seen the Goonies was on USA, on the USA Network. And we recorded it on a VHS tape. And it had that octopus scene in it. And then years later, when I bought the movie, it didn't have that. I was like, I totally remember something about an octopus here. Mm-hmm. Like, we pulled out the tape and it was on there. We ended up finding it on YouTube. I totally agree. Like, that is totally one of the best parts of the whole movie. It's so scary. And it's really a bummer that it didn't make it onto the actual theatrical release, because even when you have at the end them talking to the reporters, like, and the octopus, Slick Shoes talks about it. So definitely any movie with a character named One-Eye Willie cannot be a horror for me. The Goonies is a comedy adventure for me, especially the scene where Chunk tells everybody that every bad thing he's ever done. I did the same thing when I was a kid and I got arrested. Well, you're going to have to tell us this long story soon. The idea of the Matrix is pretty scary. Goonies isn't horror. We need a new Goonies with the original cast all grown up on one last adventure.
That'd be awesome.
I would definitely. I wish I was vending it. Dude, so do I, Matt. Good news, guys. Raven. Yes! Awesome. Thank you for anybody that helped. I'm so excited to not just meet you, Jamie, but to meet Raven. Jamie's daughter, Raven, is a cosplayer, and she's amazing.
She is so adorable.
She just did Danny from Hocus Pocus. And she was spot on.
She killed it.
Yes. Tell her, Jamie, that we're so proud of her, and she did amazing. And we are so over the top excited to be able to meet her and spend a little bit of time with her at Horror Hound. That's going to be a whole lot of fun for us, just being able to meet her, because she's such an energetic and sweet young lady that we're both very, very excited to meet her. Charles, what about Shutter Island? Well, Charles, you gave us money, so we'll do this one right now. Everybody knows you don't have to give us money. Yeah. Never.
No.
Ever. But I don't want to forget this, since it is a super chat. Yes, I'm going to say Shutter Island is a horror movie. More of an adventure, but definitely like a horror noir. Like, it's got that, like, detective feeling. And you talk about being lobotomized. Like, the end of this movie is so open to interpretation. Like, does he remember all these things that he did? Like, I'm going to say yes on Shutter Island.
I agree. I would say yes as well.
Yeah. And Leo's just a phenomenal actor. He's amazing in everything he does. We're glad you hear us, Raven. And sweetheart, we are so excited to meet you.
Yes.
Very excited to meet you. I can't wait to see what you have in store for us. Shutter Island, for sure, horror. Chunk doesn't act anymore. He helps out actors who act. He can still... I didn't know that. Sloth died. I'll consider Akira 1988 a horror. It's basically cyberpunk sci-fi. Okay. Oh, he remembers, and it's sad. Yeah, see, that's what I like. That's my thing. Like, I think he does because he tells him straight up, like, what's worse, to be remembered as a monster or to just not remember anything? Like, I just totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, Shutter Island was a slow burn film. Yeah, but it's definitely worth it. Like, when you get to that final you're like, what? No way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you started Goonies.
I did.
I am going to start the next one.
Okay.
And the next movie that we are going to talk about, I told you earlier, my man Kiefer Sutherland was going to be making a comeback, and he's a sniper to Colin Farrell in a phone booth. I am going to say, Ashley, take this one because I got to think this one over a little bit.
Really?
Yep. I my heart is saying one thing, my mind is saying another. So what do you say about phone booth?
Yeah. I mean, this man is trapped in a phone booth, and if he, because he's like cheating, he goes to that phone booth. But like, if he tries to do anything, he's gonna be murdered. Like,
and not just him, his wife.
And his wife. Yeah. I absolutely think it's a horror.
See, my heart says yes, my brain says no. But I will say this. It has one of the best speeches ever in a horror movie. Like when he comes out and he's like, I take this ring off, not because of you, but because of me, because I'm ashamed of who I am. You deserve better. Like, oh my God, this scene makes me cry every time. Like that, they could give a whole acting class on that scene.
I'm like,
so.
yes, I do. You should have got shot, you asshole.
Right. Like you see the pizza guy got his throat slit, and like, again, my heart says yes, my brain says no for phone booth. Either way, I fucking love this movie. I love this movie. It's such a well acted movie. Shutter Island, big horror movie. It's an amazing horror movie. Yep. Slower, quick burn, still fire. I wasn't interested in Shutter Island. That's awesome. Like, I love it. But I'm a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan. So, like, I obviously was going to see it when it came out. But, again, much respect. I've never seen Phone Booth. I would recommend it. I enjoy it a lot. And Kiefer Sutherland's in it. So, that's enough said. More suspense than horror, which is also fair. Colin Farrell is brilliant. Shutter Island rules. Robin, again, I would recommend Phone Booth to anybody that hasn't seen it. Because I have a lot of friends even that were like, it's called Phone Booth, so the whole thing takes place in a phone booth. How cool can that be?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of
twists and turns. Even when he's Milo Ventimiglia or whatever his name is, I can't say his name from This Is Us, the dad from This Is Us. He plays an assistant, and like he's telling him, he's like, don't be a publicist, you're too good for it. Like when he's pouring his heart out to everybody, and you watch his little heart break. Like, oh yeah, such a great movie. So I started Phone Booth. You want to start us with the next one?
All right, so we have Ghost.
Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, Ghost. Is it a horror movie?
No, it's not. No, it's a drama and a love story, but I don't think it's horror. It does have, a murder scene, but it's really not that scary. I don't know.
You don't think Ghost is scary?
No.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah.
It's not a horror movie. But it's scary as shit when those shadows are coming and they get the guy, or when the guy in the subway's like flipping the newspapers. Get off my train! That shit's scary. Like when his friend dies, like the glass comes down on him, and he stands up, he's like, oh, Phil, or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. Like, and the one guy, the mugger, and those demons take him to hell. I thought it was scary. Is it a horror movie? No. But I think that it's scary. I can't believe you said that movie's not scary. I think there's a lot of terror in that movie. You scare me now.
Well.
So Ghost, we're both going to say no, but I say there are definitely scary scenes in it. Question for the group: slasher or slow burn horror? Which affects you more? That's a very good question. And I'm going to say, I think it depends on the film.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
it really does.
Like there are like Hereditary, I consider a slow burn, and that affected me more than probably any slasher film.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of slasher films that I think are super amazing that affect me more than other slow burns. So I guess if we're gonna go with just the question itself, I'm gonna go with slow burn affect me more, just because Hereditary is probably the one that's affected me the most out of the group, and that would be a slow burn. So what would you say, my love?
I'm gonna go with slasher just because it's
Halloween.
Yeah, because I mean, even though slow burn movies could really happen, stuff like that happens. But
Halloween's a slow burn slasher, in my opinion. That's just boring as hell.
You better stop.
And you're right, J-Deb. Forrest Whitaker is so good in Phone Booth. Ghost is not a horror movie, and wasting all that clay is annoying. Dario Argento filmed a roof in Tenebrae, made it look cool. Who else could do that? Those shadows and ghosts freaked me out as a kid, but not a horror. Slow burn for me. It gets under my skin more. Not a horror movie. My mom dragged me to the theaters and cried her eyes out. I love Ghost. I love Ghost too.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie, but it's just not horror. I think there's definitely scary moments. Slow burn gets me more. I can't remember anything about Ghost. Hereditary stuck with me for a long time compared to a lot of other movies in the last 10 years. I think I would still say that my favorite horror film in the last 10 years would either be The Cabin in the Woods or The Dark and the Wicked. Those are probably my two favorite horror movies. Host is up there. That was really good. But those are the my top three. I know it's a documentary, but the Paradise Lost trilogy messed me up. We haven't seen that. So you started Ghost?
I did.
Edward Scissorhands. No. I'm going to go no. And maybe it's because I'm not a huge Johnny Depp guy. I don't hate this movie. I don't even dislike this movie.
You don't like Edward Scissorhands?
It's not that I don't like it.
I very much enjoy Edward Scissorhands.
There are definitely, to me, it's definitely, I don't know. It's good. It's good enough.
Oh.
I think it'd be better if you had like Bill Murray as Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
Like that would have made the movie.
Yeah, right. He wouldn't stop doing his dry jokes and.
Can you imagine Bill Murray as Edward Scissorhands? Bill Murray in any role would make any role better. But I'm gonna say no on Edward Scissorhands being a horror movie. I'm gonna go no on that one. I'm just gonna stick with that.
Okay.
Definitely horror elements, but no.
So I said, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I said yes. Like so his creator dies and he literally lives with that corpse for like months until what's her face's mom finds him.
That definitely is probably one of the most horrifying parts of the movie.
And then,
when he's touching his face.
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, that's creepy. And in Edward Scissorhands himself, he's a monster. He won't ever age or probably die. Yeah. And yeah. He shreds his own, like, he had those human hands, and he shreds his own hands.
When he's trying,
Yeah, when he's trying to grab them.
Yeah, it is what it is. Again, I'm not a huge Johnny Depp guy. I think Johnny Depp is probably one of the better actors of my life.
I mean, he can play anything.
He definitely never plays the same role twice.
He doesn't.
The problem is every role he plays is not something I'm that much into.
Yeah.
And again, the guy's amazing. He's an amazing actor. It's just, he never lands the roles that I particularly enjoy. So, no, yes on Edward Scissorhands. Maybe it wasn't that memorable. That's very possible. Ghost, some people don't like it. Host is really good. Oh my God, Jamie, I agree. I just watched Paradise Lost last summer. Is that streaming, guys? Because if you guys are this big on it, it's gonna make the list. Paradise Lost. All right. I know there was a poem, Paradise Lost. Hereditary stuck with me for about 10 minutes. Midsommar, much superior film. Agree to disagree, Boomer. The idea of being put on death row for a murder I didn't commit, very scary.
Yeah.
T. Parker, hey guys, I'm currently traveling but wanted to stop by. Have you guys seen Fresh on Hulu? We have not. It's on the watch list, and I've heard many good things, but thank you for stopping in, T. Parker, even if only for a second. Please be safe traveling. Wait, you don't like? It's not that I don't like it. I think it's good enough. Like I said, it's not that I just don't like Johnny Depp.
This is another one like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Stop talking about it. Edward Scissorhands was an interesting film, but I watch it mainly for Vincent Price. Yeah, Vincent Price is the shit. I'm not gonna disagree with you, Matt. Hot take: Edward Scissorhands is overrated. It's just, I don't know. Well, it does have Vincent Price in it, so I'd say it's between a horror and drama. Anthony Michael Hall in Edward Scissorhands was played by young Tommy Doyle. Yep. Matt, take that back. Edward Scissorhands, no for me, and one of Tim Burton's weakest films. Johnny Depp is overrated. The movie Secret Window with Johnny Depp is so good. Okay, I lied. I do like that movie.
Yeah.
Why'd you put on the hat? I don't know. I do love that movie. It's on HBO Max. Okay. That's going to be our running joke now. You should stay strong. Edward Scissorhands overrated. I watch it for Vincent Price. The ice dance scene is great. Edward Scissorhands has a special place in my heart, and I get that. Like I said, I think it's just growing up. I was never into Johnny Depp, and my sisters adored Johnny Depp. Crystal and Kendra would watch every Johnny Depp movie. I can't tell you how many times I watch fucking Crybaby. I watch so many times I want to cry like a fucking crybaby every time someone talks about it. So, all right, moving on to the next one. That was Edward Scissorhands. Oh, this is gonna be a controversial one. I can tell you already. This is me starting this one, or is it you?
It's me.
Okay.
Wait, is it me? I think so. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Crow, and I say no, even though it's very like dark and eerie and
Very broody.
Yeah, I can definitely see horror elements in it. I don't think it's a horror movie. Honestly, like the curse of like the film, like have you heard about that?
Course.
Like all the stuff that happened on set and stuff, that makes it more scarier than anything. But no.
Strong agree. I don't think The Crow is a horror movie. I think that it's very gothic. And Brandon Lee is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the actor that accidentally shot him with that prop gun was also in Tales from the Hood, the blonde cop.
Oh, yeah.
And it ruined his life. He passed away since then too.
Horrible.
But it fucked him up, man. And like there are definitely horror elements to it, and I think I love The Crow.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I mean, The Crow was such an influential movie. They made a WCW character, Sting, the Crow version of him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna say that The Crow is not a horror movie, but I think that this is probably another one of those very hard ones for me. Because if someone came up to me and was like, I totally think The Crow is a horror movie, I'd be like, I can't argue against it. Yeah, I can't make.
I can see where someone would think it.
I can't make in my own heart a definitive argument where I say no.
Yeah.
This isn't a horror movie because of this. The acting, it can't rain all the time. You know, like it's just Ernie Hudson is phenomenal in this movie. When Eric Draven goes to him and he touches him, don't touch me. Don't. Oh my God, like that's so emo goosebumps right now. Like it's so good. I love the movie, but I wouldn't consider it a horror movie. We own it. We have the box set.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have all of them, not just the first one. So that's unfortunate. But okay, hear me out, Clintonville. Johnny Depp's first movie was A Nightmare on Elm Street, and his death was so killer in that movie. He also wasn't really a character in that movie. I mean, he was, but he was such a minor character that I'd have to watch him for a long period of time. And all I got to do was watch him lose 75,000 gallons of blood. So that's good. God, dude should have gave more blood. He had plenty to give. I love Scissorhands for Winona Ryder. She's great.
Yes, she's amazing.
The Crow is horror, Ashley.
Sorry.
I have a feeling it's coming. Winona Ryder is great.
I love Winona Ryder.
The Crow is a drama thriller for me. I'd say The Crow is horror. Fire it up. Most definitely horror. We stand Eric Draven over here. And like I said, Eric Draven, the character is amazing. Yeah. Brandon Lee, that's so heartbreaking to know what could have been with that guy.
Yeah.
You know, watching what he was. And he wasn't just an amazing actor. You know, he was into martial arts. He was a musician. Like, he was a legit musician. So, very unfortunate what happened to that young man.
Absolutely.
Twilight Zone, the movie, a horror? Yeah. Yeah. People died on set. That helicopter crash killed that man and those two kids. Like, that alone. That's a Twilight Zone. I mean, I got to go horror. I haven't seen The Crow. Jay, I would strongly recommend it. And I know for a long time I was one of those people who was like, fuck The Crow. Because it was like I don't know, like it was popular, I guess. Like, so fuck that. It's so good. It's so good. The Crow is everything for me. It's great. Gavin, it is very good. The Crow just tips into horror for me. I get it if people don't think so, but yes, the gothic feel, what happens to the couple and the retribution to follow. I'll tell you this. Sexual assault is horror.
Oh, good.
That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Sexual assault is always horror. Don't forget Tony Todd is in The Crow too. Candyman versus Eric Draven. Oh, that would have been the movie right there. Candyman versus The Crow. Yeah. I enjoyed The Crow. It's a dark humor thriller movie. Snoop Dogg ripped off the idea and made Bones. Bones is something else, man. Brandon Lee was also set to be married just days after his death. God, it's so heartbreaking, man.
That's horrible.
What do you think about the Crow sequels? They exist.
Yeah, they do.
City of Angels was good enough, but then you got like the one where Edward Furlong was one that was brought back by the Crow, and it went off the rails for me. But how do I want to word this? They're trying to live up to something they could never live up to in Brandon Lee's portrayal of Eric Draven. They couldn't have done what he did. And that movie captured lightning in a bottle, and trying to do more off of that. They were in a rock and a hard place. You had to do a sequel because of how good the first one was and the following that it had, but you weren't going to get anybody. And I just read recently that for the longest time, they had Jason Momoa lined up, Aquaman.
I know who Jason Momoa is.
I know you do. I could take him out to dinner or something.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think that Jason Momoa would do good, but I just don't think you'll ever have anybody that has that personality the same way that Brandon Lee did with Eric Draven. Just that one line delivery of "can't rain all the time," like the way he says it, Eric, and then he's gone. Like, oh God, such a great movie. Thank you. I think The Crow is a horror movie because it's not typical in a sense of jump scares or anything like that. The horror of the movie is how tragically dark the situation with Eric and Shelley. Yeah, that's very true, Shaun. I would recommend the first Crow, but I think the rest, I agree. If you like The Crow, check out the director's follow-up, Dark City. Have not seen that. I will give that a check out. You already know what's going on with the Crow God King. The dude that played Angel was one of the worst. Yeah. Again, I'm a hard no on that one. You started that one, right?
I did.
Okay, now earlier in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that I believe it was Labyrinth was so funny, or the Goonies was so funny it couldn't be considered a horror movie. The next movie on our list is Shaun of the Dead. And yes, this is a horror movie. The worst thing about this movie is its name, because you hear the name Shaun of the Dead and you automatically think it's a spoof movie, like a scary movie or epic movie or superhero movie or Bathroom 98 movie. I don't know what the fuck they have on those things now, but Shaun of the Dead is definitely its own original film. While it borrows and sends love letters to other movies in the horror genre, Shaun of the Dead is 100% a horror. And it's a drama, it's a comedy, it's an action. And I'll be honest, every time I watch this movie, I laugh, I cry, I get scared. Like, this movie has everything for me. Like, this is such an amazing movie that I've made Ashley watch 8,247 times. We watch it with the special features. I love watching this movie with the commentary on it. I learned so much. This one and Hot Fuzz both, like, they're so amazing movies. So for me, hard yes. Shaun of the Dead, absolutely a horror movie. What about you, my love?
I agree. Yeah, it's a horror comedy for sure. I mean, it has a lot of gore in it, and like the zombies, they're pretty grotesque, and yeah, I think it's horror for sure.
And it's so intelligent. Like, the movie is so smart. I really am bummed out that it's called Shaun of the Dead, because it gives it this idea of something that it really isn't. It's not a spoof movie. Like, yeah, it's a comedy, like a horror comedy, but it is a very well written, very smart. The next time I see him, he's dead. I am a prick on his suit. Like, I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing. You got red on you. Like, there's just so much about this movie I love. So I think Jake Gyllenhaal could do it. He's scary. I'm assuming play the Crow.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal could do anything.
Devin Sawa could do anything too. I'm stuck at work, so I'll be in and out of the chat. I just wanted to say love you guys. Appreciate all you guys do. Thank you, Wesley. We love you too. Man, thank you for stopping in while you're at work. It means a lot to us. Jump scares are overrated now. Everyone is doing them. I think it's just like anything else. It just has to be done right.
Yeah.
When you have a movie that is just
a bunch of jump
completely reliant on jump scares.
Yeah, then it's not.
No. But jump scares can be done very well. Just recently, Antlers has one of the best jump scares I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It got me. Usually I'm pretty good at calling these, but Antlers got me good on one of the jump scares. Like it made her jump. I jumped so hard. So
yeah, and usually it's the other way around. It's me that screams and then it makes you jump.
But I definitely that one got me. Yeah, I'd say that's a horror film, and they all played it pretty straight. Shaun of the Dead is a horror and one of the best films in the last few decades. Mm-hmm. Can't argue that at all. Shaun of the Dead is a horror comedy. You got red on you. Mm-hmm. Shaun of the Dead is a sweet movie, but I always watch Hot Fuzz first. What do you think of Hot Fuzz? I love Hot Fuzz. Mm-hmm. I love Hot Fuzz.
Literally watched it every night to go to sleep too.
When we went to bed, I would put that movie on every single night to go to sleep. Like, it's just what I would literally hit repeat on the DVD player, and we'd watch Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead on repeat every night. Like, that's how much we love those movies. At World's End, Paul, those guys are great when they work together.
They really are.
And it's kind of a bummer. It's kind of like that newest movie they did, the one Last Night in Soho. I wasn't a huge Last Night in Soho fan. I know, this wasn't for me. Great visually, amazing, but this didn't make a lot of sense to me, the way that they tied everything up in the end. Shaun of the Dead, definitely a horror movie, and it's really a love story above everything else.
Absolutely.
It's really about Shaun proving that he could change for Liz under the circumstances of a zombie apocalypse.
I agree.
Jamie, me and Ashley will come to you and bring Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and we'll have a marathon night because they're so good. I never got into zombie movies. They just don't do it for me. I don't know why. That's fair. I feel the same about vampires. Like, there are some, like, I love Fright Night.
Yeah.
I love Dracula.
I like vampires.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge vampire guy. Never really done much for me. The Burbs, I will add that to the list for us to talk about at the end of the episode. Wow, we got a nice list going for the end of the episode. Let's go to the Winchester, grab a pipe, and wait for all this to blow over. I have a shirt that says that.
He does.
Hot Fuzz is definitely a horror movie. You know what? As much as I love Shaun of the Dead, I think Hot Fuzz is a better written movie. The end got me. The twist in Hot Fuzz threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, that was nice. Attack the Block is classified as sci-fi action, but I think it's definitely got some horror elements to it. Shaun of the Dead is a true zombie movie. It just has comedy in it.
Right.
I love Hot Fuzz, and to see the two films have a lot of the same actors that play totally different characters, yes. Only a 90-minute drive. Don't threaten me with a family movie night. I'm just saying, we're in.
Yes.
I'm tired of vampire movies. I'm with you. All right, so I started that one with Shaun of the Dead. Oh, I'm very excited to talk about this one.
Okay. What Lies Beneath? And I absolutely think this is horror. Like, all the suspicion of, like, the neighbor. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. Like, thinking the neighbor is a killer, and, like, like, she gets all freaked out by him. And then the ending, when she finds out it's really her husband, and they're in the lake, and you see the girl's face. Like, that shit is scary. There's so much, like, scary and suspenseful, and I think there's even, like, jump scenes in that, like, jump scares. So yes, absolutely, I think it is horror.
I don't think I could agree with you anymore. What Lies Beneath is totally a horror film. The scene of her where she's in the bathtub and he drugged her, so she's awake and the bathtub is filling up.
She keeps trying to, like, lift it with her foot, but she can't get it. Yes, that's like anxiety right there. Like, get the.
And then when he sees her as the monster, he falls and hits his head on the sink. Or at the end when you see, or what about when she's straddling him on the table? She's gonna suspect something. Your wife, and it's the girl. Man, it's so good. And the suspicion of and you have the jump scare at the fence when she's looking through the fence, and the other face comes in. Like, I love What Lies Beneath. Well, everybody knows I love. Like, if you got a good love story, I'm in. I'm definitely the softie of the bunch.
That's more like a triangle.
Yeah, but there's definitely her love for him.
Oh yeah,
is huge. And I love a good love story. I love a good horror movie. So to mix the two and mix them very well, that's another reason why I think I like Shaun of the Dead so much. But yeah, for me, What Lies Beneath, totally a horror movie. And Harrison Ford playing a villain like that, it's fucking insane. Like, it's so insane.
He did well.
Yeah, he did so good. Like that, like you said, that truck scene at the end
Yeah.
when you see her in the water and she turns up. Oh, woo! God, I love it. The greater good. It's for the greater good. Hot Fuzz. The Thirst is an incredible vampire movie. I think I always gravitate towards vampire films because that was my introduction into horror.
Yeah.
What Lies Beneath, 110% horror.
I agree.
I don't know if I can answer this one, Ben. I don't think I've seen Disturbia. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
I can't give you an honest assessment, brother, because I haven't seen it and I don't want to lie to you. What Lies Beneath, horror 100%. What Lies Beneath is a horror movie. Wow, I thought this was going to be a controversial pick, but it looks like What We Do in the Shadows. I don't think I've seen that one.
What We Do in the Shadows. No.
I don't think I've seen that one. I haven't seen it. What Lies Beneath is a very good movie. And here's what's funny about What Lies Beneath. Like, when you look at it on the surface, you see Michelle Pfeiffer, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it
you're kind of like,
a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, it's okay. But you watch it and you're like, wow. Like, I remember walking away from that movie like, wow. Because I had to rewatch it last year for a My First Horror Movie episode. And
wait, it was we didn't see it coming on it.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
You're insane.
Go look at our Didn't See That Coming playlist. There's not a What Lies Beneath on there.
I swear we did.
Yet. No, remember we had to watch it for that My First Horror Movie. And because I hadn't seen it in so long, I wanted to refresh my memory on it. And we rewatched it for the My First Horror Movie with Crystal Veda and Elizabeth Posey.
Sure?
Yes, I'm sure, baby.
Okay.
Either way, watch it. What Lies Beneath was a killer horror movie. I saw it in the theaters all alone, and it was glorious. Mm. Do you think Glass House is a horror? I don't think have you seen
Glass House? I think I have seen Glass House.
That sounds familiar. It's from 2001. Does not look familiar to me. I don't think I've seen that one. So I'll get back to you on that one, Jamie, because I don't remember if I've seen it. It's definitely Robert Zemeckis' tribute to Alfred Hitchcock. And it's funny because watching the special features, we're watching it and I'm like, man, it's so crazy to think the guy that did Back to the Future did What Lies Beneath. Mm-hmm. Like, that's insane to me.
This is really like hitting something in there. I think we've seen the Glass House.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't look familiar to me, but you're smarter than I. Do you think Harrison Ford looks better older? Older. The older that guy gets,
his
the
salt
more.
And pepper hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why don't you marry him? Ashley, I agree with Lies Beneath. I remembered being scared shitless of it as a child. The bathtub scene, "You're my wife" moment definitely got me. And Scary Movie 2. Dude, it's funny. That's what I think of every time I think of that. Your wife. And it's one of the Wayans brothers. Yeah. Yes, totally. Fox News, horror. Any mainstream media is horror because they're only going to tell you half the story, and that's despicable. I'll check it out. Please do. Think of Night in the Unlife of a Group of Vampires. It has Diane Lane.
Okay.
Fox News horror, all news horror nowadays. I laugh so I don't cry. That's true. Like I said, if you're watching a partisan news network that leans to the left or the right, it's a horror story because they're not going to tell you the whole story. Glass House is a psychological horror movie. He was involved in Tales from the Crypt series, so no surprise. Fox News is Idiocracy come to life. Like I said, I don't want to get too political because I have very strong opinions on the subject, but just do your research. Whether you're left or right, just know what you're talking about, please. Don't regurgitate shit you read on the internet and just think that it's a fact because you've read it somewhere. That's all I ask. Our world would be better if people were more understanding of the other side. Whether you're left wing or right wing, it's part of the same eagle, guys. We shouldn't be hating each other. We should be fighting for a better good. You know, just my opinion. Don't hate me, please. So you started What Lies Beneath, right, dude?
I did.
Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, Donnie Darko, horror or not? I am going to go with no, with a very yesy aftertaste.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a horror movie. It's a fucking weird movie.
Yeah.
And Frank the Rabbit is off the rails, and it's better than S. Darko. And I do love Jake Gyllenhaal. And the cast in this movie is so good. Like Patrick Swayze's in this movie. Like I love Donnie Darko. This was one of the first movies you ever bought me. Honestly, this is one of the first movies Ashley ever bought me was Donnie Darko. Love the movie. Do not consider it a horror. What about you?
I say yes.
Really?
Yeah, he's like a teenage psychopath.
Love it. I love it.
And
I love it.
That rabbit costume, that shit is scary.
Frank.
Yeah. And like when he takes it off in the theater, like, and he's like, "What happened to your eye?"
What was that?
Yeah, it's total horror for me.
I mean, agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
What about you guys? What do you think about Donnie Darko? Hey, don't be sorry you started it. I love any type of conversation. I love any type of argument, as long as you can stay civil and not be an asshole. That's all I ask. You know, if you want to talk politics with me, we'll talk about it. But don't be offended by my answer. If you don't want to hear it, don't ask. I won't be an asshole to you. Don't be an asshole to me. That's all I ask. Just be kind with each other. If we can be more understanding about each other, this world would be a better place. I get all my news here at Sledgehammer Horror, y'all. Woo! I'm with you, Ken. I appreciate it. Donnie Darko is not horror, but very close. Donnie Darko is horror. Skeezy Patrick Swayze is scary and icky. That is very true. Which is weird seeing Patrick Swayze like that.
Right.
I love Donnie Darko, but I don't think it's a horror movie. I love Donnie Darko, but I don't think it... Oh, it's the same one it repeated. I was like, whoa. You guys are on point. Donnie Darko is so freaking good. It's horror-ish.
Yeah.
Donnie Darko is too tough to call for me. The scariest thing to me in Donnie Darko is when the old lady whispers to him. And you find out that she said, "Everything here dies alone." It's like, whew.
That's fucking horror.
Donnie Darko is horror. You see a kid having schizophrenia, downward spiral with visual and auditory hallucinations, child molesting, Final Destination type death.
Yes.
Donnie Darko is not horror. It's psychological. You guys, I love you guys so much. Like watching your guys' opinions, no matter how different they are, and everybody's so understanding of each other. Like it's so rad, you guys. Thank you. We were me more so than Ashley, was so nervous about how this was going to turn out tonight with us not having guests with us. And you guys showing up has really, really made this even more fun. Thank you guys for coming out with us. Seriously, for real. Yes, thank you.
This is awesome.
So I started with Mr. Darko, my love. So it's your turn.
So, we have Godzilla.
Now, which one?
Okay, so I don't remember if we actually decided on this, the original.
Yes.
Okay, so then yes. If we're going with the original from 1954, that Godzilla is a huge, scary, destructible monster. And I mean, over time, over in the rest of them, he kind of becomes more of like the defender. But in that original one, I think it's horror, and yeah, it's a monster movie.
Now, here's where my big argument comes in. Is every creature feature a horror movie? Is every, you know what I mean? Like, does every...
Yes, creatures are fucking scary.
But I get that. But from Godzilla...
You have a big-ass lizard coming out of an ocean and destroying your town.
I say yes. The original Godzilla is a horror movie because it's about the monster terrorizing the city and destroying it. But I don't think every single creature feature is a horror movie. I don't know. Like, maybe. But, I mean... As every slasher a horror, of course it is. So there's that argument there as well.
It's a creature that's really scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If Godzilla was around, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, this isn't a horror." Are you serious?
It crushes your house.
Yeah, for sure. Godzilla. Yes. So to stay on point, yes, Godzilla is a horror movie. Yes, Godzilla is amazing. But as the franchise went on, Godzilla became more of the protector than the destroyer. And that's why I also agree with you. But going back to what was earlier asked, I do believe Godzilla vs. Kong is a horror movie. I think that one was a horror movie. But like you get Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I guess it goes back to that whole thing. Like it really varies from person to person. So I'm gonna say the original Godzilla, yes, as a horror movie, and you also said yes.
I did.
Okay. No worries, all good here. Raven yelled, "S Darko is trash, though." Raven, I like you more and more every minute, young lady. You two set a good example. That's why the chat is always good. Thank you. For real, Jay. Thank you. Yep, Godzilla's horror. Godzilla 54, yes. The others, no. The original is horror to me, no doubt. Yes, Godzilla is horror.
Mm-hmm.
What about Shin Godzilla? I don't know what that is.
Shin Godzilla.
That's fun to say. Yes, that first film is a giant monster attacking the OG Godzilla for sure.
Yeah.
Godzilla isn't horror to me. The concept is scary, but not the execution. Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Go Godzilla. Go Godzilla. Oh, Shin Godzilla could be very much a horror film. I've never seen that. Godzilla is horror. Go back and watch that. The devastation in that movie is shown with real consequence. The family scene is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I agree. 1 year after the bomb. I gotta go. Jay, have an amazing night. Thank you so much for joining us. Godzilla is already considered the definition of a monster horror movie, yes, but it is more of a standard creature feature, very much a mixture. Shin Godzilla is great. You have to watch it.
Okay.
Man, we're gonna be set for like 2 weeks on all these movies. So you started Godzilla, right?
I did.
The next one, I don't even know why we put on the list because it's so definitely a yes. You want to skip it? No, we're not gonna skip it.
Oh, might as well.
Snakes on a Plane. Yes.
I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
And that soundtrack though.
This is true.
That soundtrack was so good. Oh, I'm ready for it. Yeah, that soundtrack was great. Yeah, I'm gonna say Snakes on a Plane, absolutely a horror movie. You know, you hear snakes on a plane and you're like, oh, there's snakes on a plane, but this guy witnessed a murder. He's turning in a member of the mafia for committing the murder. He's going to trial. They put snakes on the plane, and they put lays on there, you know, like Hawaiian lays, and they spray them with snake pheromones to get the snakes going fucking crazy. Yeah.
They're venomous snakes. You get bit by one, you're
out. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Snakes on a Plane. Yes, it's a horror movie.
I agree. Yes, it definitely is. Snakes are scary in general.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about the movie, or you're just like, yeah, it's horror?
Well, I mean, I was kind of already talking about it with you. We were talking about it together.
Yes. So yes, we do believe that. King Kong, 1930s. It just made the list. Horror, but come on. I watch a ton of movies that have recommendations for days. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay, Snakes on a Plane, like, is so fun.
There's a lot of humor elements to it too.
Oh, there's definitely humor, but there's definitely a lot of fucked up scenes in that movie. Like, it's a good movie. I like it. Snakes on a Plane, yes, horror movie. A snake coming out of the toilet is one of my biggest fears, so I'm saying yes too, for sure.
So I was weed eating around our garage, and I had a snake jump out of the weeds, and I was like, "Okay, you're doing the rest." It scared me so bad. I don't like snakes.
We did touch on this one earlier. Yes, I think Coraline is a horror movie. Yeah. The other mother alone is terrifying.
Button eyes.
Yes.
Creepy.
Peter's right. The fact that I'm already scared of snakes is saying a lot. So that's a huge addition to making the movie a horror movie. So I started Snakes on a Plane. So now, my love, it is your turn. We got 3 left, guys, and then we'll go over some of the lists from the back that we've been adding throughout the show, and any more that you guys want. So you are on to our next one.
So we have E.T. I say no. Okay. There is a lot of horror components to this movie. Like, for example, how E.T. looks in general. You know, if I seen this alien out in the woods, I would be like, what the hell? Yeah. And then like when the guys in the suits come in and like take over in their house, that scared me too.
E.T.'s gray, dead.
He's like, and he's like doing that noise, and that was super creepy to me when I was a kid. But no, I don't think it's horror.
I agree. While I think E.T. is fun and I very much enjoy E.T., I'm gonna have to say no, it's not a horror movie. It's an amazing movie. The Atari game is definitely a horror story. Holy shit, that thing sucked. But when it comes to E.T. Extraterrestrial, I'm going to say no as well. It is not a horror movie. So I think we both agreed on that one. I avoid the nope ropes, even if they don't have the hurt juice. Mika, yes, Snakes on a Plane also has Lin Shaye. I forgot to mention that. Definitely the horror queen. Snakes on a Plane. Yes, a horror movie because when Samuel L. Jackson starts yelling motherfucking snakes on his motherfucking plane, you already know what you're in for. The situation is horrifying. Stories of rats in New York up out of the toilet is a horror myth. I don't care if it's a myth or not. That's one of the scariest shit I've ever heard.
That's very scary.
The guys in the hazmat suits were the only scary thing. I don't know, man. When you see dead E.T. there and he's just gray.
Yeah, and he's like making that awful sound. That's creepy.
That definitely did it. And I don't know why, but the scene with the frogs always freaked me out when he's hiding the frog. Like, that always freaked me out, too. I don't know why as a kid. E.T. is a timeless classic, not a horror movie. I do love the film. Temple of Doom. Talk about that one, William. Stories of rats in New York coming out of the toilet. Again, it's enough for me. I talked about it on the pod. My brother that says it's horror, the scene where E.T. jumps out, traumatized him. Yes. No, E.T. is not horror. I'd say more adventure and fantasy. Yeah. So we got 2 left. This one, M. Night Shyamalan's Split. Yeah, this is a horror movie. And the acting in this movie is just so good. It's so good. And watching all the transformations that he goes through and how seamless he does it. We got all these kidnapped young ladies, cheerleaders in there. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Yes, I think The Split 100% is a horror movie.
I agree. You have this multiple personality guy kidnapping all these young girls and, they're trying to get out. And
what is it the monster? What's it called?
Beast?
The Beast.
That thing, yeah, when he turns into the Beast, that's scary too. He's like climbing up the walls and he gets all muscular. And I mean, if I seen that, I would run away.
A very underrated trilogy of horror movies to me is Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Yeah.
We both enjoyed all 3 of those movies.
We did.
So, and I could make the argument all 3 are horror, but if anybody makes an argument that those movies are not horror, again, it's one that I can't definitively say, yeah, it's a horror because of this. So, I'm going to say yes to Split. It is a horror film. I like Split, but what Unbreakable? Oh yeah, I think Unbreakable is absolutely a horror film.
Yeah.
And I love Unbreakable. Might be my favorite Shyamalan film behind Devil. I think Unbreakable is that high up on the list.
That's a good one.
I mean, look at when he goes in that house and he finds the lady's dead to the radiator, like, and the kids are in there. Like, oh yeah, oh shit. I agree with both of you. Split is a killer. Is 100. Yeah, it's a horror film. Amazing acting. No argument for me about Split. Split is straight horror, regardless how accurate it is. James McAvoy, he's so good.
I mean, he played so many different characters as one. Like,
I mean, he never did as good as he did with Mr. Tumnus. I get told
someone has a soft spot.
Yeah, I've been told my whole life that I look like Mr. Tumnus. So you don't know how awesome it is to hear that you look like half goat.
It was actually my baby brother
that started it.
He
look right now when you're done. Go to Google and type in Mr. Tumnus, and then come back.
It was when that movie came out, and it was on the side of a McDonald's thing, and he was like, "Kenny."
Oh yeah, you little dickhead. Mika, yes, Split would definitely fall into a horror. I'd say psychological horror. Of course, William. Haven't seen it. I decided to stop watching his films after The Village, but I like Lady in the Water is a very underrated Shyamalan film. That was a bedtime story he told his kids. But Devil to me is the epitome of Shyamalan. When I talk about the best Shyamalan film, Devil is always one that pops up for me. Horror or not, James McAvoy needs an Oscar for his Split performance. He could win Best Actor and Actress. Hey y'all, sorry I'm late to the party. Anna, you're here. We're glad to see you. Split, a horror movie. The situation could happen and just kidnapping young girls alone is horrifying as shit.
Absolutely.
So we are down to our last film. You want to give that one?
Yes. So The Day After Tomorrow. And I say yes. Yes. This movie gave me such bad anxiety. And I honestly think about it a lot, even to this day. Like where where everything starts freezing over. Like that thing gave me horrible anxiety and scared me. And I honestly see it as horror.
Of course. The Day After Tomorrow is horror to me. The end of the world is something that scares me. It's not even for me and my own mortality. I've accepted that, but it's for my children, my wife.
I mean, and it's not because of jump scares or villains. It's just like,
it's a movie, like you said, I thought about it long after the credits rolled.
Yeah.
The performances in it were phenomenal. I believe so, Jamie. But, again, if someone was like, I don't consider it a horror movie, I'm not going to argue with you. I think that you have your right to say it's not a horror movie because it definitely would be classified as an action adventure as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Suspense, thriller. So we'll catch up on the chat real quick, and then we'll go into some of the movies that you guys have already asked us about. Day After Tomorrow, big note for me. Does this make Jake Gyllenhaal a Scream King? For me, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal could be my Scream King. And for those of you that haven't seen, I had a singing duet with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
My uncle literally needed therapy after watching The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought of The Day After, the TV movie. Nope. Day After Tomorrow, disaster movie, not horror, but a killer movie. Thank you guys for this list.
Mm-hmm.
And no, thank you. Yes, disaster movie gives me nightmares. So let's go back. One of the first ones we were asked about was The Never-Ending Story. Now, do you consider The Never-Ending Story a horror movie?
I would say so.
I'm gonna go straight fantasy on this one. Now, Artax in the swamp, like
and like what happened. What
the
really
horse
happened
really
to the
died.
Horse, like,
yes,
that's horrible.
Like the lift that was dragging the horse down into the swamp malfunctioned, and that horse died on set. Like, that's terrible. So
and like when he has to where does he goes over when
he's in the luck dragon?
Yeah.
But I can also say, turn around. I love that song. But no, I'm gonna say Neverending Story, not a horror movie, but a very good movie.
It's good.
So
it's a good movie.
What about Pan's Labyrinth?
Yes. That thing is what nightmares are made
of. I'm gonna say yes on Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, he has
too.
his eyeballs in his hand. Yeah. That thing's scary.
Hey! What's up, guys?
Hey,
See, I think it's so dope that they did a review of, I can't remember the movie, Jacob's wife, and Barbara Crampton was promoting that shit for that horror couple.
That's
so
awesome.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
That's a really cool feeling. I'm so happy I got to see that. Are you claustrophobic? I am. So what about As Above, So Below? I think that there's no doubt As Above, So Below is a horror movie. Mm-hmm. I know Ashley, I'm not so much claustrophobic. Ashley's very claustrophobic.
What's that movie where they get trapped in the water? The girl, they like go down.
Open water.
Something like
with
that.
With the sharks, and the one girl starts hallucinating.
Yeah. That, like I couldn't breathe. Like
Trying to get her through Buried with Ryan Reynolds was a fucking chore.
Yeah, that scared the crap out of me. I'm definitely claustrophobic.
Day After Tomorrow, and it is anxiety inducing for me. The world ending while I'm still alive and there's no way out is horrifying.
Yeah.
Yes. Treyu's death was traumatizing, and like I said, like, to learn that horse really died, like, broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like, it's so terrible. Neverending Story, not horror, but the wolf was pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
I would say fantasy adventure for Neverending Story. Neverending Story has horror elements, but not all the way horror. Mm-hmm. How about Legend 1985? I have not seen that one. Mm-mm. I had no idea that Artax actually died. Yeah, dude. Like, he died while they were doing it, and it breaks my heart to learn that shit. Thank you guys. When are we going to collab again? DM me, please, because we love being with you guys. So please DM me. Let's set something up, please. Absolutely. We'd love to. Pan's Labyrinth is definitely horror.
It is.
How about Aliens being a horror movie? Yes, I think that Alien is horror. Aliens is action horror, and then Alien 3 is an action film. But Aliens, yes, I think it's a horror.
Just the way it looks in general.
Yeah. Get your hands off her, you son of a bitch. Black Swan. Now, it's been a very long time since I've seen Black Swan, but I remember this being a definite horror movie.
Very dark movie. I want to say it was very like a psychological type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got, what's her, Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the right film, Jamie asked this one.
She is a ballerina.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that we consider this a horror movie. If I'm thinking of the right movie, yes, I would say that it was a horror movie. Are we thinking of the right movie, Jamie? It has Natalie Portman. She's a ballet dancer, and there's that other girl that I believe they are in love in some way, or she falls in love with her, or unless I'm thinking of something different. Yes, that's the one. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make sure. Yes, we both think that's horror.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise and Tim Curry as the devil. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Curry as the devil. He was great in Legend. So Legend is what it's called. Okay. From 8.5. Never Ending Story is fantasy, but definitely has horror elements. V for Vendetta. I'll add that to the list. Have you ever seen that one, my love?
I have not.
I'll talk about that one if you haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Aliens is hands down horror. Upgrade will get added to the list. I don't know if people like my answer. Watch the movie. It has, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Mila Kunis, there you go. Yep, that's Black Swan. Dark as Hell thriller. Nice pick. So we just did Black Swan. So Cable Guy. What do you think?
I don't remember this movie.
With Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick?
Cable
Guy.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, it's a horror movie. Total horror movie for sure.
I know I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. Oh, I think Cable Guy is definitely a horror movie. Like, especially if you've been. Obviously, I've never been unlucky enough to have been in a relationship like this. But I will say that that's just a friendship, but it's an obsessive friendship. And there's real men and real women that go through that type of relationship. So I would have to say that, yeah, it's a stalker horror film. I'm going to say yes on the Cable Guy.
Okay.
The Burbs. I'm actually going to say no. It has
The Burbs.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one either.
It has scary elements to it, but as an overall horror movie, I'm going to say no to The Burbs. King Kong.
Yeah. I mean, a giant ass monkey.
Taking the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the top of the
Empire State Building. Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I think so. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Ripping that dude's heart out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, ugh. Yeah. Okay, let's catch up real quick. If you like Black Swan, then good luck with the Perfect Blue. I have Perfect Blue written down.
Yes.
Promise you we're going to watch it, Peter. What about Willow? Did you guys do that one? Yeah, Willow had the guy that plays Leprechaun in it, if I'm thinking of the right movie. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me know if that's the right one, Mika, because I'm pretty sure it has. Why can't I think of his name? We just watched every one of his fucking movies, all those Leprechaun movies. I say yes. Jim Carrey's character is definitely stalker and creepy. Number 23 for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, a horror movie.
Yes.
Not only do I say it's a horror movie, but I also say that it's Jim Carrey's best performance. I mean, a lot of people would throw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I can't argue that. It's a great movie, great performance, but Liar was good.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite Jim Carrey comedy. But I know a lot of people shit on the number 23. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Like
that
a
was
lot.
A good movie.
Like I really enjoyed that movie. Jim Carrey singing is horrific unless you don't want somebody to love. The Simpsons even made fun of it with Homer was destroying the script. Which one? Cable Guy, dark comedy. The Blue Knight rules, the Red Knight suck. Yes, the Cable Guy. Blue Knight rules, Red Knight going down. Down. Yes, love it. The Burbs is awesome and definitely a horror movie. Cable Guy is hands down a horror movie. Jim Carrey, horrifying as fuck. Yes, he was. I would say dark comedy for the Burbs and Cable Guy. Warwick Davis. Yes, I believe that's the movie. I agree with Temple of Doom. Isn't Perfect Blue animated? Yes, it was. Okay, I was right. Definitely a horror. Mm-hmm. Cable Guy. So now we're up to V for Vendetta. Yes, I think it's a horror movie. Conspiracy type movie, but I love the mask. I love just the mask in V for Vendetta. I'll show you the mask, baby. Okay. And I remember watching this movie when I was younger and just being so in love with that mask. Mm-hmm. I always thought that the mask was awesome. I do like V for Vendetta a lot. So I'm going to say yes on V for Vendetta. Upgrade. Did you see Upgrade?
I did not.
No. I'm gonna say it's a sci-fi action film. That's what I'm gonna say on Upgrade. It's got the guy that was in Devil, the one that crashed the car and killed the kid.
Okay.
He was also in the OC, I think.
He was his brother.
Yeah, he was his brother in the OC. He's in it. He gets a chip put in his head and they can kind of control him and shit. It's weird.
Huh.
Hey, William, have a good night. Hope Skippy has a good night as well.
See you, William.
1 hour photo.
Yes.
Yes. While I've often talked about my favorite actor being
Bill Murray,
Robin Williams is a once in a generation actor.
He was phenomenal.
I'm not saying that because he's gone. I'm saying that because whether he wanted to convince you he was a 12-year-old boy, like he did in Jack, he could. If he wanted to convince you he was a woman, like he did in Mrs. Doubtfire, he could. If he wanted to convince you he was Peter Pan, he could. If he wanted to convince you he was a creepy fuck at a photo booth.
Yeah. I stayed home from school and watched this, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I was just like,
I should have went to school.
Yeah.
Cable Guy was originally intended for Chris Farley instead of Jim. That's crazy.
Wow.
Would you consider Death Wish a horror movie? Charles Bronson, right? Charles Bronson's in Death Wish? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I shut the movie off. If this is the one where it has a pretty gnarly sexual assault scene. Like, bad. And I'm pretty sure I shut this movie off because I couldn't handle it. If that's not horror, I don't know what is. So if this is the movie that I'm thinking of, guys, if it's the Charles Bronson movie with the super, super heavy rape scene in it, then yeah, I consider that a horror. Yes to 1 hour photo. Remember the 5th of November. V for Vendetta is a dark thriller for me. Robin Williams was acting gold.
He really was.
Robin Williams was special. He was a special human being that did a lot for a lot of people outside of the acting world. So, if anybody else has any other movies to ask about, we'd love to answer those. While we're waiting on that, we want to let you guys know our next live will be on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, this coming up, the 16th, we will we will be joined by two of our best friends, Celeste from Sweet and Spooky, Michael from Video Creep, to rank the Leprechaun franchise.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh boy, those were fun to watch. So that's what we will be doing on Wednesday. On Monday, we will finally be releasing our verses, where we discuss Child's Play 88 versus 2019. If you haven't watched it yet, go to the channel. My First Horror Movie Today. We had Steven on there. He is from the Conjuring franchise. He's from the Insidious franchise. He is from The Walking Dead. Stephen Coulter was on there. And then this week coming up on My First Horror Movie, we have sorry, I'm trying to pull it up, guys. That way I can let you know what we have coming up this week. This week, today was Stephen Coulter. Monday, for Versus, we're doing our Child's Play Versus will be premiering. On Wednesday, we have John Mazzari from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He was the composer on that film. And then on Friday, My First Horror Movie with Quay Tan from Cam and Dear White People, among others. So make sure you're checking that out. We really appreciate. So we have some more content coming up for you this week. We'll try to catch up a little bit more. Darkman. Yeah, I consider it a horror.
I'm not sure about that one either.
Watership Down. Don't think I've seen Watership Down. But Darkman is a Sam Raimi film. We'll watch that. It's like a darker Batman. Like it's a superhero movie. But this was a good stream, guys. You did well by yourselves. Thank you. Guys. Appreciate it again. The Secret of Nim, a horror movie. I've never seen that one.
Secret of Nim.
I'm gonna look this up because it looks familiar. Secret of Nim. Never seen it. Never seen it. So I gotta say, sorry. And he's apparently from James Bond. Who's that? Who is in James Bond? I say more solo streams.
Thank you.
We will probably do more solo streams in the future, but it's so much fun for us to hang out with our friends. And like what has been amazing about this one is the interaction from you guys.
Yeah.
Like just
We got to spend more, time doing
talking to the
and,
chat, which has meant a lot to us. And I love it. Like I loved hanging out with you guys tonight. This has been so much fun. And these 2 hours have flown by. So one last question. Liked 1 hour photo. So did I. One last question, guys. What is a movie that most people don't consider horror that you do that scared you the most? A non-horror movie that scared you the most. While you guys are thinking that, I'm going to grab Kenley to come in and say hello to everybody. Are you thinking of yours too, Mom?
Oh.
Kenley.
I didn't know why you were asking me.
You want to come say hi? Come here. You want to come say hi? What? We're not done yet. We're almost done. Hold on.
Hi, Talkie Face.
You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Can you say, I like Michael Myers?
Michael Myers is scary.
Michael Myers is scary?
Yes, Jason is scary.
Jason is scary? What about Chucky?
What?
Is Chucky scary? All right, you want to go on Kenny's beanbag so me and Mommy can finish? All right. Sorry, guys. Let's brought her in just so we could have a little bit of time to think. So let's look at these. The Hitcher. I think The Hitcher is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's terrifying, Ivan. Good choice. Jaws. I think Jaws is a horror movie, too. You found a key.
Wow.
Black Circle Boys. Never seen that. Train Spotting. Good choice. Artificial Intelligence. I already told you. Requiem. Yeah. So Requiem is one that I consider a horror movie. It scared me so bad. I couldn't watch it again. I couldn't. She is so cute. She gets that from her mom. Hey, Mika, we appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Splice. The game. For me. You found it?
Yeah.
The Truman Show.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. The Truman Show. Like, it caused me a lot. It did. It caused me a lot of trauma in my life. It caused me a lot of anxiety. I thought that was my life. I thought that my life was surrounded by cameras and people were watching me, and it really fucked me up bad. So, do you have one, Mom?
I can't think of one right off the top of my head.
I'm just watching Kenley in the background. All right, let's catch up real quick. So cute. Welcome on the pod as well. And we will be joining Podcast in the Woods, Boomer, on Sunday to count down our top 6 favorite horror movies of all time. So when that episode is released, we will let you guys know. So make sure you can subscribe to that podcast and check that episode out. Apocalypto scared me. The Hangover 3. Take Shelter. The Truman Show made me. Yeah, The Truman Show ruined me. Like, it really did. That's a good choice, Kaylee.
Fight Club. Yeah.
Fight Club definitely has some horror elements to it.
Yeah.
His name was Robert Paulson. Or when they're actually going to chop the dude's dick off and they cut the rubber band. Fooled ya! That totally freaked me out. The Hitcher scared me a lot in watching as an adult. Wow. Oh, The Killing Joke was so good when they paralyzed the. Oh man, that's a good one. So I'm gonna leave this up to the chat because we're not gonna say anything because it's against our code because it's not available for streaming yet. But did you guys consider The Batman a horror movie? And I agree. The Hitcher's a straight horror movie. I agree. But have you guys seen the new Batman? Please don't spoil anything, please, because there are people that haven't. But if you have, did you consider it a horror movie? While we're waiting for that, I again want to say thank you to everybody for coming out and joining us.
Yes.
Man, like doing this is so much fun, and creating our list is so much fun. But we don't do these if it's not for you.
Yeah.
To come out and join us and chat with us. We get excited about it every week. My son Roy says Gremlins messed him up. I consider Gremlins a horror movie.
Yeah.
I really do.
Me too.
Michael Douglas, when he starts losing his mind and falling down. You want to say hi again? Get Kenley. Look at. Tell him, tell him. Say, what's your favorite scary movie? Say it. Your favorite scary movie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kenley wants to know, what's your guys' favorite scary movie? We can't tell you ours because we'll be doing that on Podcast in the Woods, so we can't be telling you what our list is. So,
Mom.
You want mom?
you want mom? No, I've been busy, but it looks. Yes, please check it out. The two of you make great content. You deserve all the praise. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
The Element with the Riddler fits well with horror. Haven't seen the new Batman. Is it goth enough for my liking? Yes. Yeah. You want Daddy or do you want down?
Daddy.
Batman was so awesome. Best Batman ever made. Yes, horror. You want Mom? The People Under the Stairs and American Mary are Jamie's favorite horror movies.
Well.
Yeah, we can't say anything.
What?
The Thing, 1982. Chris Marshall's favorite too. Good pick, Nathan. Kenley, what's your favorite scary movie? Who's your favorite? Do you like Jason or Michael Myers? I know it makes us seem like bad parents, but she definitely loves Michael Myers. Hey, what do you want to watch?
Michael Myers.
You want to watch Michael Myers?
Yeah, Daddy's phone.
Yeah, on Daddy's phone.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, thank you again so
Thanks,
much
guys.
for joining us. We're
This
going to
was
catch
so
up on
much
the chat
fun.
real quick before we go. Those are my faves. I knew they were. I knew People Under the Stairs because we've had that conversation. Make sure you check out Podcast in the Woods. That film might be talked about again. Hoping to see the Batman this weekend. Heard good things. Mika, after you do, please text us and let us know what you think. Get off Robert Pattinson internet. He's awesome. Like, you know what? Like, we've talked about this before. Robert Pattinson was great in Twilight. Whether you like the movies or not, the kid was good, and he's only gotten better. Like, I think he's amazing. He was great in Remember Me, The Lighthouse, Batman. Like, he's great.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite horror movie. Raven says It Chapter 2 because of her boy Teach Grant. I know what's up with that. Oh my God, she's so cute. I mean, I assume you're talking about Ashley, right? Okay. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
You two are great parents. Ashley is definitely a great parent.
Stop.
They make you cool parents, to be honest. My dad got me hooked on horror at a young age. Such good parents. Thank you. I mostly remember him from Harry Potter. Yeah, he died in Harry Potter. Robert Pattinson. He was the one that died in the maze.
Yeah.
You want Michael Myers? All right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go so we can watch Michael Myers. Have a killer weekend. Much love. Good night, guys. Continue with my homework. Get it done. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.